So the supercharging or DC fast charging almost isn't the issue anymore. The real thing to look for, in my opinion, for overnight accommodations is this right here. Hey everybody, I'm on a road trip to Florida with our Tesla Model Y. The last 2 days we've been traveling about 400 some miles a day. So we went from West Michigan to Chillicothe, Ohio, where we stayed at a Airbnb close to some chargers, and then from Chillicothe we came down here to the area of about Southern Pines, North Carolina, and then tomorrow we're moving on. So those of you that have traveled with Teslas, you know this is totally seamless now. In fact, when I first put the address in for Chillicothe into the GPS system of the Tesla, what it told me for the 400 some miles that I needed 2 charging stops. The first one 15 minutes, the second one 10 minutes. As it turned out, our first stop was in East Lansing because we needed coffee, we needed a pit stop, we needed to get some groceries for the trip, and the car was done charging well before we were done shopping. In fact, we kind of had to rush out to make sure we weren't going to get charged idle charges for being finished and staying at the charger. And then the second stop, we deliberately picked more in the area of Toledo, Ohio. Those of you that travel that way, it's the Maumee supercharger, which actually is a V1, one of the slower ones, 150 kilowatts, because there's a Chipotle there and we happen to like Chipotle. So while we were eating 25 minutes, that was enough for us to charge and get enough of a charge to get all the way to Chillicothe. So that's typically how these road trips work. There are so many more chargers along the way that we can actually pick where we want to stop rather than exactly what the car tells us. Day 2 was very similar. Again, we started in Chillicothe, Ohio, went to Charleston, West Virginia, charged there, had a bite to eat there, went on the West Virginia Turnpike, and I don't even remember. We just stopped wherever we felt like, and it really didn't take that long to charge. Here's a good analogy for you. In the early 1980s, when the Space Shuttle first launched, we all gathered around the TV sets. We were watching those launches. It was like the coolest thing ever. And those things popped off the pad, fire, flame. And then they kept going up. And it was almost like it was just literally a shuttle going to space. And after a while, people stopped paying attention. Like, oh, there's a space shuttle launch. Yeah, okay, well, it does that all the time. I think we're kind of at that point with EV road trips where, yeah, at the beginning it was a big deal. How do you plan it out? Where are you going to stop the charge? And now it's like, you just hop in the car and go. So the supercharging or DC fast charging almost isn't the issue anymore. There's so many choices now that you just stop where you want to. Now, the real thing to look for, in my opinion, for overnight accommodations is this right here, which is level 2 charging. That's the game changer still. It's nothing sexy, but it really helps because now you can start the day with a full charge. We're actually staying here for the day, so we charged overnight. We did our running around, and it's the middle of the day. There's no time of use charging rates here, so we're just charging during the day to top it up again. We're going out to dinner. Didn't even really need the charge, but hey, I came home, I plugged it in. Tomorrow we're back on the road. We're going to start with a full tank, so we don't need to go looking for a charging station right away. Now, it's warm here, but this is particularly important for cold weather driving. You heard all about all the stuff in Chicago. So that way you have a full battery. You're not worried about battery heating, any of that kind of stuff. So I expect that our following day is going to be very similar to our other travel days, which is pretty uneventful. So nothing to report on. But to me, looking for overnight accommodations. Now here we're staying with my sister. So thanks to her, she put in a NEMA 1450 outlet for my Tesla or whatever other vehicle with a portable charge cable. But looking for hotels with level 2 charging, to me, is the game changer. So do that whenever you can. And if you're staying at hotels that don't have them, fill out their survey at the end and say, hey, I love your hotel, but I'm going to start going to places with level 2 charging. How about installing that? So that would really help the EV community to get more chargers out there and patronize those that do have level 2 charging. So what do? You look for level 2 charging at hotels, or just focus on DC fast charging? Maybe you do level 1 charging. I still do that at hotels sometimes, ask for permission. So let me know what you think in the comments below, and on to Florida. We'll catch you at the next stop.